OS2, almost done this term. We are finishing up. We are in week 14, 15 weeks total. So we talked about cloud services. The students worked on why. Okay, why are we using cloud services now, or what's happened with technology? I did a little timeline. I was trying to make a point. So took my first programming class 1976, 1978. I set up some computer classes for students and access to a mini computer in Watertown, South Dakota from Sioux Falls. And we used phone lines, okay, to communicate. And it was really slow. Back then, yeah, computers had storage, memory, and CPUs. A little different than nowadays. Nowadays, we've got the hardware's gotten smaller and tremendously faster. Okay, the big change is connectivity. We now can connect almost anything anywhere. When you think about your Bluetooth connecting your headphones to your device, and then from your device into the cloud in order to stream whatever from wherever, if that's what you're doing. Software has improved tremendously. Our operating systems run more efficiently, and we're able to use virtualization. Virtualization's had a big impact on why we use cloud services. We can take such good advantage of this powerful hardware now in so many ways. So the students did some research. They looked at Azure, if I pronounce that right, AWS, Google, IBM. Cisco does some educational things. They're not into the cloud business, but AWS, in terms of right now, has a good share of the market. I think one student found some 2018 data that it's like 30% larger than the next closest one, which was Azure. I read somewhere it's still twice as big as Azure and Google together. I can't say that for a fact, though. Okay, we talked about how a lot of these places are getting into the world of education. Cisco's been doing it since 1999, actually. And then we talked a little bit about certifications. The students did a little research on that. Security Plus, A Plus, CCNA certifications you can get. You would be able to at least consider after finishing their schooling 2 years at NIAC. Now, from the cloud services, what we're looking at is we want to look at examples of computer, web, and then some type of storage. And we're going to do it through Amazon Educate. At least start off with, and we're going to do the starter kit. The advantages of the cloud, variable cost versus capital expenditure, economics of scale, the cost here. There's a huge cost in scaling up, and then after you scale up, if you make the capital expenditures, bought more servers, then when you need to scale down, those servers are just sitting there. Don't guess on capacity, scale when you need it. Speed, the networking part of getting access to your services, and the agility to change and adjust as your business changes. Having your own servers, capital expense, there's a lot of operational cost, both in people and just running the servers, electricity, etc., etc., etc. There's just costs there. It's hard to go global if all your resources are sitting at one location, so you might want to have the ability to spread out, which Amazon does. They have these regions spread out all over the world, and you can have services inside those different regions. Access, we have the console and the dashboard. We kind of have those together. You can use command line, or you can use a software development kit in order to work with your resources in the cloud. And we'll see examples of these two, of the console and the CLI. In terms of, we talked about sharing resources. I talked a little bit about how the internet packet switches. You put the packets in there and they find the best path to move through to get to wherever you're going. Circuit switch we used to have where you would set up a circuit between each end, and then if you weren't keeping that circuit busy, we were kind of wasting resources. So, big advancement in technology. Last thing on this page, we talk about business, people, governance. So we have this, the business end of a business, and then we have the technology end of a business. Platforms, are you a Linux, what platform does things run in terms of, maybe it's Apple, maybe you're a graphics place that does Apple, or a combination. Everything has to be secured. And then operations. How do we make this all work? Technology manages more of this end, and then you have the business end up here. The CEO is concerned about the business practices and the people to make it running, and they would want the infrastructure to be as transparent as possible. And nowadays it's getting to be that way. So we added a few things. We're focusing compute, storage, the web. We already talked about most everything on the page. Certain services are free at Amazon. We'll talk more about those later, but it's important to understand the cost and what things are free. Okay. Amazon, they don't charge anything for inbound. Where the cost arrive is transfer out, data transferring out per gigabyte, and there would be a cost involved with setting up your storage and setting up your compute. Whether you're using it or not, based on what you set up, then you'll accrue the cost for those. Some parts are free, some where you pay for what you use. And we're going to take a look at that over the next couple weeks. Okay, so that is it for today.